Hello, welcome to a new lecture. My name is JC Paz, and in this seventh part of the MySQL Server and Tools series we are building a simple but powerful ASP.NET Forms app using MySQL as the backend. When the page loads, it connects to a MySQL database and displays the latest visitors in a styled bootstrap table. The user enters their name and clicks the button to go to the next page. The name is passed to the second page, stored in MySQL, and added to the visitor list automatically. Greeting.aspx shows a personalized message and fetches all visitor records live from the database. Admins can remove the last visitor or clear the entire list with a single click, all synced with MySQL. ASP.NET Web Forms with MySQL, a classic combo made easy. Let's begin inside Visual Studio creating a new project. From the left side, let's choose ASP.NET Web Application. Next, the project name Web Application 1. Choose a location and the .NET Framework. Create. From the options, choose Web Forms. And create. After a few minutes you will see under Solution Explorer the solution Web Application 1. You can click the green arrow and the application begins. We can jump between About, Contact, and Home. You can see these three web forms in the Explorer. Let's open Home or Default.aspx. We don't need this code, so let's replace it with a new one. If you switch to Design View, you will see this form. And if you are in Design View, you can switch to Source Mode. If you right-click in this form, you can open View Code to open the C# code behind. Select all the code and replace it with new one to complete the Home form. You can stop the video to see the complete code. Now if you run the solution, it is completely functional. And every time that a user types its name and click Greet Me, it will see a message in the green bar. If we go again to View Mode, the Default.aspx form displays the controls and in particular the Greet Me button. If we click on it, the code associated inside the C# file will reveal itself. And we can see that the text in the TXT name control is copied to the label control. Well, now the next change is to modify the event button Greet click to open another form. Using the response redirect method, sending the name of the visitor to it. The form greeting.aspx doesn't exist, so let's create it in Solution Explorer. It must be a web form. After creation, the HTML code shows on the screen. And replace it with a pre-designed one. In Design View, you can see two controls: a label and a grid view. The C# part on this form must be functional, so let's modify it. When the page loads, the method requestQueryString traps the name of the visitor and place it inside the label. Also, it creates a list of strings as a session variable with a visitor's name. The session variable exists all the time that the application is running, and it is destroyed only if we stop the server. That means that every time that the greeting form runs, it adds one name to the list that resides in memory. And that list feeds the grid view control. Let's run the app one more time. In this part, the application is running using session variables. Now let's add a database to store the visitors. Open the MySQL workbench. I will open my local host and choose Database Test to create a new table. The name of this table will be Visitors. And is going to have three fields: ID, name, and visit time. After creation, we need to install the components to access the MySQL server. Go to Solution Explorer and manage NuGet packages. Search for mysql.data and double-click. Select Project and then Install. Some changes are going to take place by Visual Studio. Agree to apply and accept. Proceed making changes to web.config. Inside Configuration section, paste the lines that handles the connection to the server. Include the name of the server, the user, the password, and the database. This is all we need to do to make a connection to MySQL. Now open greeting.aspx.cs. And include the libraries needed to handle data. And replace the method page load. With the code provided. As you can see from the code, the method page load open a connection with MySQL. Writes the visitor's info in the table. And finally reads all visitors in the table to display them in the grid view control. Page load doesn't use session variables anymore. With these changes, let's open the app one more time to see how it works. Now all visitors' information is stored in a database and it is available all the time. Now we are going to do another change to default.aspx because we want to load the page initially with all the visitors stored in the server. After replacing the HTML code, let's open the C# code and also make a replacement. As you can see from the code, the first time the page loads, it reads all the visitors to display them in the grid view. It can be checked in the load visitors method that we have on display. And if one visitor wants to register, the button will send the information to the greeting page. Let's see it in action. The form is loaded with all registered visitors. And if one more gets in, the greeting page shows it. There is one more change to the home page. It is the inclusion of two buttons below the grid view. One to delete the last visitor, and another to delete all visitors. We can include the two control buttons in the page. and we can add the code to both event handlers as the code shows. Opening default.aspx.cs. Include the code to button delete last click. And 2. Button delete all click. With the provided code. With these modifications, you can see the final version in action. Let's see it. We have reached the end of this lecture. Please don't forget to give a like and subscribe so I can continue doing lectures like this. Thank you and see you in the next.